It's been a crazy week.
Yeah. I'm trying to get used to this, like, a weird silence or awkward silences.
Well, yeah, there's awkward silence that actually is awkward, and then there's
The
silence that's
natural silence.
necessary.
Yeah.
Sometimes the dead air is not good, but the problem is when you run the automated editing tools, they just
We just remove
remove
it.
everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So sometimes it's okay.
This is another thing. I think they just added, like, a eye contact, magic eye contact or something. I actually tried that. It went too creepy.
Feel like
Yeah. And it's worse for I think I mean, like, I don't wanna be
that'll be the thumbnail. I want to be like,
yeah. My god, that looks creepy.
Cheers, mix, click, and code with Boozy browsing, sipping and fixing the web one cocktail at a time.
I think, we realized that we kinda skipped through the intros, but then we probably should talk about, like, what we do for the people who might be just coming here for the first time.
we're gonna do that instead of beer.
Oh, fine, we'll do the beer first and then
I mean,
introduce the
that's why
food.
anyone comes to this. Feel like,
Alright.
that's why I show up at the end of the day to another meeting.
Fine, go for it.
All right,
I'll
so
watch you.
I'm not doing a real beer. I'm going with, I'll surprise you with it. It is fall in Colorado. We have leaves falling everywhere. So I decided I would try a cider. Get the light right. Apple Valley is just kind of the name of it. It's Penrose, Colorado is where the brewery is. So we'll see. I've had ciders. It's not like a thing I drink a lot. But again, it's fall. Why are you still holding that up?
Because I wanna see if I try the magic eye later on in this scene and see how creepy that will look.
Kind of pick up that for the magic eye?
Um, Speaking of fall, I got Oktoberfest.
Oh, yeah.
I think you had this one before, right? Left Hand
Oh, I've had
Company's
Left Hand Brewing. Yeah, they're local here.
actually, I should show this one. That's why I actually picked it because of the the picture. I think it's a tiger?
Yeah, it looks kinda like it. I see the teeth.
Yeah, but it looks like a bigger version of my angry cat. S Anyways,
I picked this just because it looked like fall. So cheers. Feel like this is gonna be easy to drink, and I'm gonna finish it before halfway through
oh,
this.
I actually like it. I normally don't like I don't actually, no, I don't like, um, I forgot which one I didn't like. Lagers are fine. Mm. Anyways, well, it is October, the time we're recording this.
Yeah. I almost went with Oktoberfest, but, I went out today to get my beer, and there were some in the coolers, but they had a bunch out.
Oh.
Like, it would've been warm. Like, that defeats
When, like,
the
not in
purpose.
the refrigerator.
Yeah, they were, like, out display, like, on sale type things out in front. It's like, well, yeah, I kinda want something cold. Going with this. I'm happy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this is good too. Alright, so, who are we, Matt?
Why would you didn't tell me. I feel like this is a deja vu. We had something like this happen yesterday where we were on a presentation and we were told right before the presentation that we'd be on a panel, not doing our own presentation. And then all the
Yeah.
questions were unknown to us. So that was really fun too.
So, Endeavor, we're a development agency, mostly do a lot of CMS work. We do website build, redesign, migration, rebuild, maintain.
It's all the basic stuff, but we also do consulting and strategy too around, especially what we've coined the 3E framework. So when you consider what it takes to have a good platform in general, right? You have audience, creator, developer. What we feel is developer is important, but at least people know about audience and creator. The creator side is the editorial side and the front end side. So what it takes to make all that work together. Um, it's simple as long as it works. Um, when you break one thing, it's fun to find out what's broken.
Since we weren't able to do our full presentation that we prepare for, so we wanted to redo it so that people are not missing out on some of the contents that we could have presented.
Yeah. We also wanted to generalize it too, right? Like we did it more on e-commerce, but it definitely applies to other sites.
Right. So we can show that, and then people. So for those of you who missed the conference, that can also enjoy this thing. So
And this time we get to do it while drinking.
yeah, this
Who
is
knows
actually
what we'll say
funner,
about these products?
funner because there are contests that are actually fun, and we're going back and forth. But there are things that we kind of held off because we're not drinking.
Well, yeah, who
Uh,
knows what I'll say about these companies
let's see. Let me present.
after a whole half of cider. I really think I should drink more beforehand and maybe all during the day. And then make this much more interesting. Who knows what I'd say?
Let's see.
The only problem is I don't ever drink that much.
You're gonna see the inception, inside, inside.
Whoa.
Yeah,
It's
there
a
we
little
go.
psychedelic with the neon sign too.
The topic was scaling e-commerce for Black Friday from fragile to AI ready website. But since we wanted to make sure we generalize it, it's going to be applied for CMS or other platforms, not just in commerce. And we'll cater to non-commerce as well as that's applied to the commerce on this presentation slash discussion. Not a panel.
Weird. My anyways, so about us, we get to talk about us. Um I started removing the 30 years. Oops. On some descriptions. It's now aging me.
Yeah. No,
Do the
I
math. It's like,
intentionally
oh,
make it just over 20 years because, like, I don't want people to know how old I am.
yeah. I mean, the problem was once I got over like once I was oh, I got to get to the 30 years, and then once I'm there, as far as experience, like, ooh, no, you do the math on that, especially if you do the math wrong because I started early. But whatever. So we talked about the stakes of so this is different than like if you're doing things wrong, there's obviously stakes. But we're talking about stakes if you're not implementing some of these AI tools or working with AI to help you augment your workflows, your content generation, your content testing, right? So we talked about and this is obviously this data is specific to e-commerce, but it does translate. If you're not an e-commerce brand, you're still dealing with users that are going to drop off, not come back, especially over the next few months. If you have content publishing, then you're probably trying to promote products also, uh, of affiliate type links, stuff like that. But also just you're probably talking about the holidays, the end of year, heat the economy,
Yeah. And
which is
also,
bouncing back, no problem.
yeah, even the time sensitive campaigns that if you have like the urgent contents that you want to roll out, it just apply. It's not like not AI is not an option anymore. It's something that you want to use to stay competitive. Because I mean, there's all the scares and all these things, but there's some of them are misconceptions. Some of them are prematurely worrying about it, and some of them are not even there. So, but you still want to get benefit by the progress or like or the what do you call it? Technology actually. Like, you want
Mhm.
to use the latest technology to make sure that you're efficient as well as you're taking advantage of it to make sure that your site is fast, up to date, competitive, and why not use it if it's out there?
Yeah, use it in a good way. We'll get into that too, though. Not just use it and copy and paste or have it and create content for you.
Right. So this
Oh,
was
right.
actually related to e-commerce, but I think this is very interesting. So I think we should probably talk about this one.
Yeah, I think no matter what type of site you are, you're waiting for what OpenAI LLMs are going to be doing. And this is an example for e-commerce. Let me try to get to it.
Yeah. So to give a little bit of context on that one, OpenAI rolled out an instant checkout. I think they announced it on Monday. Yeah, earlier this week. And then instantly Etsy stock went up by 16%. And they're saying that they're planning to roll it out to Shopify to I think I forgot it was like 25 million or whatever users and so on. So this is a starting of a e-commerce shopping through the LLMs, but there's a lot of caveats to it. And then this is one of the things that we wanted to demo as one of the caveats too. But right now they can only buy single item. Also, they're not really announcing what the fee is going to be. So that's a big thing because I think Matt, you were telling me something about the fees. Who knows what the
You
fees?
got yeah, who knows what it's gonna be because you can assume you're always gonna so right now they're integrating with Stripe only. So you have a Stripe fee of your own, whatever your, negotiated rate is. Um, you're they're they've negotiated with Stripe, so that's gonna affect your probably as well. Like, there's unknown things in here. We'll also get into, like, the user flow and, like, your now ability to cross-sell and upsell. Not really there for now, but let's see. So I put in a prompt. I wanted to be very specific to try to get it to really do it. So told it to use Etsy's new thing, tried to do a thing custom, like obviously couldn't do that. So
Wait,
try
before we get
to
there, what is this thing? Like, I think you were trying to explain it to me. Yeah, you're interested in the Fat Bear challenge or something?
I don't know how you didn't know about Fat Bear.
No.
It's totally Google safe to check out. Yeah, check out Fat Bear. Katmai Island. I don't know how to pronounce it. The Brooks Falls. All the all the grizzlies or brown bears, whatever, that are there. They just sit there all season ingesting salmon as they basically fly up into their mouths, and they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So there's a whole contest that the national parks does that they've been doing for a little while about
So what is
competition.
the contest? How fat they get, or like who's the fattest they get?
Yeah,
What's the
not
contest?
like it's voting. So it's your opinion who thinks this which bear is the fattest. Um,
How long has it been going on? How do I not know about
like
this?
10 years probably.
Oh, so it was a Fat Bear week.
Yeah, so I think 32 won, number 32. I mean, these are the bears. This is like and there's video like, I mean, these are some big bears. They just basically lay there and eat for months. Anyways, I wanted to get a sticker for Fat Bear, so fine, do that. And unfortunately for our demo, but what if, hey, can you try to generate it now? I'd really like to be able to check out through.
Yeah, your whisper flow. I hate.
Still,
It still doesn't do it.
I don't know. I don't read all this stuff that ChatGPT, like, seriously, you can't tell me just no.
So you can't buy it. I mean, just go through like. So what happened? Like in the beginning, like does it show what options you have, but you couldn't buy it, or what was it?
Why don't I have access to checkout or instant checkout yet? Oh, I'm a regular user. Oh,
Regular
I'm
user,
just a regular user, but I pay for you. Why can't I get it?
regular user of
Now I'm gonna
what?
have an argument with
Regular user of Etsy or regular user of ChatGPT?
ChatGPT. Apparently, I am not. I'm just a regular user. Huh.
So this is like a beta, like for the people who are.
It's like early release beta. And they made it sound like it's going everywhere, and that's why their stock went up 16%. Who knows what it is now since no one can use it.
No, when the one article I read about it was actually saying that they announced it's coming, and then the stock went up before it was actually rolled out completely.
That would have been a good time to short it. Who knows? But I mean, that's a couple of days. So I could be totally wrong by the time this comes out. But
Mhm.
like seriously, I feel like that's a jump. A bunch of people technology thinking that's gonna be amazing. And it probably will be, but this could be months down the road.
Yeah. Well, like I said in the well, it's not like I said. I said that in our talk is that, but this is not there yet, and also it's not rolled out to Shopify. And also, you can only buy one at a time, which means that there's a lot of things that need to hash out. Meaning that in between those times, you still need to have your website and to get a full control of yourself, your site. As a seller, also you might not want to get all these fees imposed to you by just working on that, just looking at that. So it might be one of the other facets, but doesn't have to be the everything. So for that, you want to have this AI readiness on your website as well. And we wanted to break it down by our usual 3E framework. So what is 3E framework for those of you who don't know this?
So to us it's simple because we look at it all the time. But if you look at a three-legged stool, chair, table, I mean, any table, right? If one's too short, it's going to wobble. If one's broken, the whole thing can't even stand up. So the platform needs to be stable with all three things being cared for and curated. So you look at the three, we can explain each one. So audience,
Yeah, audience experience is pretty much what you see, feel, like interact with. So anything you see on the front end, so like interaction, design, speed, and engagement are all included in the audience experience.
yeah, and creator is, within a CMS, it's the editorial experience, the admin features, but you also have social media, you have ad creation, you have whatever other third party platform that you're using to generate your content with. Ideally, it's under one platform, so your creators are using one system.
And developer experience is pretty much the engine room for your platform. So anything technically related, technical foundation, DevOps, code base, anything technology related to make sure that you're secure, stable, and efficient on pretty much on the audience experience and the creator experience side.
Yeah, so audience experience. So
So yeah.
these are the tools we've been using or have played with a little bit as well for each of these areas. So when we start with audience experience, we're going to put in we've grouped them or subgrouped them under audience experience into the three kind of top level buckets that we see them as.
Mhm.
So we have AI search. Um, that is really replacing keyword search on most websites. Um, so you've got Searchgraph, Covio, Algolia, Mealy Search. There's others as well. These are just examples again that we've used.
Yeah.
All of them. Okay.
Yeah, so the search, like to kind of give like a example that's not too hard to understand is that when you're searching for something on a website, so there are times that if it's without this AI search with the vector search is what they use underneath the under the hood, is that when you have a typo and if you don't know the exact name of the product, so when we're explaining to the e-commerce platform, but it actually resonate with other things too. If you don't know the exact spelling of the certain things that you're searching for, sometimes you might not get the results that you want. And also English words sometimes too, like depending on what letter you misspelled, it's a completely different meaning and then it's just going to give you the wrong results. Or you're not going to get any results at all because you misspelled it or if you didn't know the exact name of it. That way, you're not going to get the results that you want. So you have a higher chance to get bounce rate because you're not getting what you're looking for. With this vector search and AI search, it's more meaningful. Like it's trying to grasp it. So like it's more forgivable for this misspelled things and that they as long as they understand the meaning of it, they'll find the results that you're looking for and then provide it, which means that it's more relevant data. So fewer bounce rates and then higher conversion rate because you're finding the information that you need.
Yeah. The other thing here is if you have not upgraded to an AI based search, and you actually monitor your search, you might be seeing people putting questions into the search because they're very much used to this new kind of prompting
Yeah.
approach versus just typing in words. So
Yeah,
they're
that's
getting really bad results if you
right.
haven't considered this.
Yeah, like something like that if you're using like one of those voice thing that the Matt's using, the whisper flow and try to start asking questions on it, and it's not gonna give you any answers that you want.
Yeah. Yeah. The next section is pretty well known, especially on most content and brand sites where you have chatbots. The benefit here, pretty clear. You got 24/7 answers to questions, so they're not having to call into a call center potentially or look up FAQs and try to find the answers. These range from these three things, but there's all kinds of chatbots. And the interesting thing here is it's not about just dropping in some JavaScript on your page and paying for a product. You're going to have to do some integration and customization too.
Yeah, yeah. I think we were talking about like you asked me how many times do you actually use chatbots? I'm like, I used it,
Hmm.
but there's a lot of times that's I'm not really getting the information that I need.
Yeah, it depends on the site too. Like if I'm trying to get support from a site and the chatbot comes up, like, all right, here we go. Hopefully it gets me to a real person fairly soon. I mean, they're pretty good. They're way better than they used to be because we've had chatbots for years, but they've definitely gotten smarter with the real learning language models as a
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, and then I think they a lot of the places, a lot of chatbots eliminated the frustration because like I just want to talk to the what is it support person or agent or whatever, then they go to it. But if you built it wrong, you're never gonna get to that point. But the good news is that like 24/7 answer is that like I think one of the things that like, it's like if I'm looking for a basic information and I just wanted to ask it, and I don't have to wait until the next business day or business hours to get the answer for it, which is a faster and better customer experience.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is you can actually put in to the responses to things that you actually want to send people to.
Hmm.
So especially if you're a brand and you're selling something on, or even if you're not an e-commerce site, but you sell a product in some way, you want them to know about that product. It's going to be able to explain it in a different way than just a
I think also another thing is like I think lately I've been noticing a lot is that it will give you the relevant FAQ answers, which
right.
is sometimes answers my question eventually. So it's a good way to do that. Recommendation was it was more catered to e-commerce stores on like upselling and cross-selling. It's better um than the recommendations of if you don't have AI. I think the
Yeah.
example was like how what Matt was looking for was I gotta
Stickers,
mess this up again. Fat bear stickers.
fat bear sticker.
I think you explained it better with like a categories and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, if you look at like if you looked up a site that had the fat bear stickers, right, in the past or even now, you would have tagged it sticker. You might have tagged it bear. So the the recommendations might be another sticker that has nothing to do with it, or a bear thing that has nothing. I mean, that might be better, but in this case, it's going to be more tied to what I've been searching for on the site, what I've been searching or asking for, but also how I've clicked through the site potentially.
Yeah. So like instead of getting all these different stickers that are not relevant to fat bears, you'll get more fat bear topic related items like fat bear mugs, fat bear tumbler, fat bear cups or
Yeah.
whatever.
And this, I mean, there's definitely some advantages on a content media site to obviously keep retention and keep people on the site. The difference here was that the the cost for a really good one
Hmm.
might be more than is worth. And like on a brand site, that might be more of a stretch because you're like just them staying on the site may or may not actually be valuable unless you're actually selling products like an e-commerce site. And then it's high value because you really wanting to add that extra product. So
But isn't that going to be applied to some of the recommended articles, related articles or something
mhm.
that when
Yeah,
you
but that's the thing. Like they're like it's valuable, but it's not as valuable as like getting the person to buy a product. Getting that extra click is nice. It's helpful. But having just standard recommended articles is almost as good potentially, especially if you have decent logic around it. Like most recent, the things that people are like, if you have some kind of analytics around like headlines that people are actually clicking on, that can be more valuable than an AI engine, in my opinion,
yeah.
for
Well,
content sites.
yeah, that's true on the recommendation side. But
That might be because I built some of those things, but that might be
I think behavior analytics is actually applicable for every
mhm.
across any industry.
And the analytics side, the behavior analytics side with AI, some of these tools, Hotjar obviously has been around before AI, but integrating its evaluation of the analytics or evaluating like what the users are expected to be using. Some of these other products do a better job there. Some type of analytics is a must, but even more advanced than just page views and things like that. You have to have something like this on your site so you understand their user journey, how they're going between things, and if they're actually following the one you expected.
Yeah, and I think with the AI's help, it makes it easier for you to analyze the data and then kind of set up something more like A/B testing or what kind of user journeys. Even you can even simulate things along the way to understand it better.
Yeah,
Having those in place will actually benefit you and make it more efficient.
was I'm supposed to be driving.
Yes, I clicked it. I was like, wait, I'm not looking at.
I mean, you drove on the presentation, the other one,
Yeah,
so
so you got
it kind of
confused.
got lazy, I guess.
So creator experience. So editorial experience, pretty much workflow. Assistance. I think you actually really explained it well, so I'm just going to defer to you to explain this.
So the assistants, for a broader so we were specifically talking about like Black Friday, having to do things really fast, and that's great. Like that's a definite necessity. For other types of companies, you're still wanting to get things out fast. Maybe you're just trying to save time, right? So you're not spending like time is money. Time is like the only thing we can actually modify or do something different with our workday. So with the assistants, they're able to, and we are labeling them assistants for a very specific reason, because some of these will actually write the content for you. Awesome, but you definitely want to be reviewing them. So the assistants will provide, maybe they're providing the SEO data, the social data to be able to share. They might be providing real product, like augmenting the product data or augmenting the articles thing. I don't know. Actually, this just came to mind, but we have some videos. We have both video and audio, like podcast generation for some of our blog posts. I wonder where that fits in all this. I just thought about that. That's a really cool for like a content site where there's some AI stuff that'll actually read the article. And that's cool, but the ones we're using actually will kind of create a narrative about the blog post or about the article.
Yeah, so there are text to speech. I think that there's a lot of those, but there's no AI person to it. It's literally reading it. But what we're doing is we're actually summarizing it
Hmm.
and then give like the highlights and then the bigger points and something that you should take away from with the open questions. So it's more of assistant than summarizing, more of assistant than just translating into speaking or to audio. Content detection was actually one of those things that I don't remember what I was looking at. So I was looking at a bunch of things about like so there now right now there's a lot of low quality AI generated content. So this is more for preventing that. So you're using AI to make sure that you're not writing your contents on AI because the sites that have human written contents perceived 39% more value than the site. And the site sales, but then the 30 more, it's probably applicable for the actual credential or trustworthiness of your brand. Especially like I think I was explaining that the educational space, this was more a big thing because you need to make sure that you're actually humans actually writing the contents, not just AI is just aggregating the content to put it out there because there's hallucinations and whatnot, and you don't know how to validate it yet. So this is more on protecting your content. So like that also protects your SEO because if you just pump out a lot of contents that's low quality AI generated, so it's not even it's not even accurate, or sometimes it's just aggregation of a bunch of things. It isn't really affecting. It's not really helping your SEO, and then you lose your trust from your audience, which is actually a big thing because building a brand is it takes a long time, but it takes really quickly to lose your trust for the brand. That's kind of like another thing. I know I don't know the actual stat for it, but I hear that a lot, and it's actually true. So you want to make sure that your content is trustworthy and authentic. So this is pretty much content detection for heavily AI generated contents.
Yeah, and then you got, so we call it persona and ideas. It's really taking taking those other tools to another level, where if you're able to identify your ideal customer profile, um, or whatever, you can now create content. I mean, as a marketer, as a writer, you're wanting to do that anyways, but you can have tools help you evaluate how well you've done. So we wrote a plugin in the tool set that actually does that for you, and it'll actually monitor both monitor your site and tell you how well you're doing against your identified ide- ideal person profile, whatever you want to call it. But also individual, like while you're writing the article, you can actually do that as well. Um, and it really helps both, like if you're using other tools, assistants, making sure that they're doing it correctly, but also if you have real people, or maybe third parties doing it, you can make sure that they're actually getting the right grading for it. And then you can monitor it long term. Like, is this actually improving things? If it is, then you continue to use it and continue to use the settings you've done.
And the example for specifically for e-commerce a little bit was to you can actually interview your persona, like the ideal profile persona,
Yeah.
without really getting to the actual customer. Because sometimes it's a hard thing because people don't respond, people don't really reply to your surveys or anything like that. So you can simulate that to find out what the pain points are, which is something that you can add to your efficiency. So that's something that can be done with the personas that with the AI. And workflow automation, this there are some for WordPress on hand. There's like a plugin for it, and I'm sure there's other plugins or modules or add-ons that you can use for different CMSs. It's pretty much automating your workflow, editorial workflow. So you want to eliminate repetitive work as well as some of the bottlenecks that can happen because of it's just if it's manual, it's just sitting in one stage, and there's not no other way to kind of ping or whatever, notify the next person who needs to go to approval to go to the next level. So there's a lot the automated with AI's help, you can automate a lot of this workflows so you can eliminate bottlenecks and tedious work.
Yeah, if you think of workflows kind of being the glue to all the things we've already talked about, those AI tools can allow you to, all right, if this got a grade of this, do this. If this got, whatever grade, whatever scoring system that these are already putting out, you can allow the content to just go through. Maybe you're allowing it to all the way go through publish. Um, Vastly accelerating the whole creator experience for both your team, but also time from idea, like you have some idea or of content, or you have an idea of how to promote a product, all the way out to it being published or on ads or on social media.
Yeah, and also, you can additionally bake into this content detection on AI detection to make sure that your content is authentic, and you have some criteria that can you put in to make sure you're have everything in place before you actually publish it. So that could also make it more efficient and more easier for your editorial workflow.
Yep. All right.
Great. Developer experience, our favorite topic.
Think anyone will actually watch us? I think people that watch our podcast or listen to our podcast actually would care about this more than anything. So again, similar to the other areas, these are tools that, so this is a little different. So these are tools that we actually, as our team, not just that we help implement on our clients, but actually our team uses almost on a daily basis. Used and I mean, none of these we've like thrown out because we don't like them. It's just that we're continuing to try new things. So, but we've used all these and some more. But these are like, I think I made a joke about, well, we don't really need any of these tools, right? Because we have Lullable and we have Bolt and we have all the vibe coding where we just talk. I just talk to a prompt and it puts up a website that is done. So why do I have any developer work?
And we actually had this other episode about when we tried to use a vibe coding to just create an e-commerce store and how effective it is and how quickly can we put it out. I think you kind of failed in all points.
Yeah, I mean, that's been months ago. Everything's progressed completely different now. It's definitely not outputting insecure code anymore, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, that's not the case.
right. So in here we've got coding assistant or code assistants. This is something that you're putting into your IDE, you're using it on a day-to-day basis alongside of your normal development kind of typing away process. So you got Cursor, Datadog can integrate with that. Codacy. You have Claude. There's GitHub Copilot is another one that I actually personally use. I've still continued to use it. Um, it is an autocomplete or code complete. I can like highlight a bunch of code and ask it to do something with that. I can evaluate it. I can, if I'm getting code review and looking at code, I can actually say what is going on here. You can use it for a lot of different things. What you really can't use these for are like rewrite this code base.
Yeah.
It can upgrade like maybe a class to if you're upgrading your API or someone upgraded their API third party, and you need to upgrade your class to hit that new API. You can actually ask that if there's public documentation on it. It'll definitely do a good first pass.
Yeah, and then some tedious work on, like, you have, like, a list items that you need to update for classes and, like, and patterns and then things like that. That's can be done really quickly because he knows the pattern to just swap it out. So tedious work like that, it's like usually it's a time-consuming thing with a very low effort low, rewards, I guess. But those kind of things can be done with code assistance, and
Yeah.
sometimes it actually picks up like errors and then fix it. Sometimes it
Yeah.
doesn't fix it
I mean,
correctly, but it does fix it.
can you I mean, I know the amount of times I've come into legacy applications and like things are named incorrectly or they've been changed multiple times, but the code hasn't been changed. It's like what like having because tools like this, I can point it at a project. I can say this function or this thing that was called this is now called this. Can you make those changes and find them? Now, again, it needs to be checked, but the speed at which it can look for all the camel case, the underscores, the all the different variations of things, and even misspelling sometimes. I mean, that was my biggest pet peeve working with some more junior people. Is like, and especially offshore, like that they don't know the language, so they mistype things all the time. Like,
Yeah,
and they just stay in enterprise legacy systems. It's like AI actually has done a pretty good job at finding those, even the misspellings. So
yeah, yeah. So those kind of work as it's helpful for code assistance and code quality checks. It's kind of like helping the PR review for the automated stuff catch the issues early, pretty much. You still need the actual code review from the senior people because the AI can't really do the job perfectly, but it does the basic things so that you don't have to worry about spending way too much time code reviewing everything. And deployment automation.
I mean, this one obviously integrates well with the code quality checks as well as a final check after it's been reviewed and sent off. But it all also you can tie in a lot of the testing tools, the AI testing tools that are going to be looking at. You deploy it to a safe environment. You can have the AI testing tools review the site, going through the site and looking for changes. And those types of checks have been there in the past, but they've always never been like perfect. Like you had to like, oh, if it's 95%, then we're okay. What if that 5% is actually a broken thing, right? That matters. And you never know sometimes, right? But with AI, it can actually try to go through the real flows of a real user and test new things too. So those are pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like you said, that the quality gets better because you're doing the automated checks and sometimes you just miss it because you're just human. And those are even checked automatically so you don't have to worry about it. And it's like a second set of eyes that's kind of giving you a
Yeah.
little more confidence.
Yeah, and we kind of went into testing and monitoring, but that's same idea, same types of tools that you could be deploying or using during deployments. Because obviously, deploying to a dev environment, you could use the same tools, but when you deploy live, you still want to trigger all those tests to do it. But at many in between deployments, you should be doing daily, maybe hourly monitoring of all your site with these tools.
Yeah. And monitoring is very important because, like, it's especially, well, so we talked about whole Black Friday and for the e-commerce sites, but for any sites, you need to have the monitoring in place because you want to catch the potential issues before it actually happens. Because when it happens, it's usually a catastrophe. So you don't want that happening. So you want also even the site going down, like you want to catch it quickly enough so that you can fix it right away. So that's there were like whole stats about I think you were talking about, 90 so SLA is of 99.9% up time and things like that. So like cuz you want to avoid any downtime as much as possible.
Yeah, zero point 0.9 is still a third of a day.
Yeah. That's it depends on the size of your business and what you're doing. It can be huge or it can be like, eh.
Well, it depends on what time of the day too.
Right, exactly.
Anyways, so to recap and give some recommendations, going through the three pillars that we talk about, we have audience. We think prioritizing the AI search, partly because users are already probably interacting with your AI search or interacting with your keyword search. So having that up updated is fairly important. It's pretty easy. And the recommendations. And we say revenue growth for e-commerce, but it's really audience retention. It's potentially revenue growth on a marketing site. Um, well, it would be same idea because you're still trying to sell something. You may or may not be selling it on the site.
Right. And for creators' experience, you want to automate campaigns or like the workflow or detect originality because you want to make sure your brand has a trustworthiness. So protect brand recognition and SEO because of that. So to pretty much making sure that your editorial workflow is efficient and fast because you don't want any bottlenecks holding your editorial team to publish the content or publish any product or whatever.
And then on the developer side, we have really it's tools to make both developers' lives easier and faster, but also making sure that there's some processes and workflows in place. So with the AI testing and monitoring, um, we're going to avoid downtime, but we're also going to accelerate some of the time from either bug fix or feature add to deployment. So to wrap up,
I mess this up all the time because I kept saying that I was gonna say if you adopt first, but I always go with if you don't adopt first.
so like the carrot or the stick, right? You're going with the stick first, even though we put the carrot.
Right.
So if you do adapt or adopt, you get the more sales, fewer lost cards, long-term resilience. We also talked about your audience retention is going to be higher, so you're not having to pay for more audience to come to your site. You're going to have a better brand recognition or your brand is not going to be harmed. So if you're a marketing site or things like that, because your tools are always going to be putting out the right thing. You're not going to have broken sites. You're not going to have broken pieces of the site, and it's always going to be current.
Yeah. And your customer retention will be higher because they're more resilient. If you don't adapt, you're higher risk of downtime or inefficiencies or slowdown and everything. And there's a lot of um, manual process in between, then there's more prone to human errors that you don't need to worry about. So SEO penalties, like such as if you don't detect the authenticity of the content, authenticity of the content, whatever. Authenticity with trustworthiness of your content that there are SEO penalties to it, and you don't want that because sometimes it's gonna be hard. Some of the things are it's harder to build and lose it. So it's like it's a matter of a second to lose all the trust that you built. So you don't want that. And also customer churn, like I said, that if you want the faster and performing and secure site to make sure that your customers are staying on your site.
All right. Any questions? It's a very quiet audience today.
So the readiness quiz, I actually rolled out the demo of readiness quiz. That's like 90-second demo of what it is and then how what you're getting out of it. And then there's a AI commerce research that the site that you can sign up.
Yeah, we're finishing up the finalized copy and data for it though. But it'll be in this case, it will be specific to commerce.
Right. So if you're interested in getting that data, then sign up for it. Then we'll deliver it to you. You done with your beer?
I finished. It was a cider,
Oh, yeah, cider. All right.
really easy to drink fast.
What's the difference? There's alcohol in it though, right?
But yeah, it's more than just a regular beer, a little bit.
Really?
I mean, so the process just takes a little longer, but still sugar. You get sugar and yeast that creates alcohol no matter what you're dealing with. Have you ever had, well, that's right. I was going to say watermelon, but you don't. Like any fruit that you leave
Yeah.
too long,
Yeah.
there's natural yeast in the air.
Yeah.
So it creates its own alcohol just by sitting out. And it kind of, so it doesn't really get bad. That's the other thing, because the alcohol will preserve it.
Mm.
I mean, I wouldn't
Oh,
want to test that, but I've definitely tested it with like old watermelon in the fridge. Like, yeah, I'll eat that. Gets a little like,
she.
it tastes like the apple cider, like a little, no, it's not mushy. It's just like a little tart from the alcohol. Now I sound like an alcoholic. I just like fruit. I don't know what the problem is.
You just I don't know what the term is. Like you're a casual drinker.
I'm not even a casual drinker. I do drink, but it's a social drinker. Like,
Okay.
this is still social because it's you and I. Otherwise, I'm not gonna just sit at my desk and drink during the day or at the night. It's just not my thing, really. Yeah, I think I drink
Oh,
more
cool.
because of this podcast than I ever did before.
I realize that too.
Yeah.
But I realize that I don't
Only one drink, but
so I will end with the chom chom. Oh shit.
shouldn't we be doing, like, you're supposed to like and subscribe because we are on YouTube? Like,
Yeah, if you like the content, please subscribe. And if you really like the content, share it with you and then put the like button. Press the like button.
mhm. When are we gonna get some people to send us beer?
I think we have to reach out, hit subscribe, and like
I
this
need
thing.
free beer. All right. Thanks so much.
Stay tuned for the next episode on Monday afternoon.